Well, again, I did try to recognize another video. I'm coming in because that was lost in signals, and I don't know what to do with the Airtel people. It's been very bad since the last 3 days. All I'm Surah Singh, fellow Mr. Venus, and Joseph Senior. I'm just trying to start a skill development program, which is not program actually stock on video, and I'm just giving you about building construction, which is very important issue nowadays. And just to start with this, I'll give you certain you can say photographs which I just took on building construction activities, which are very important from this point of view. You can see this here, that building construction activities. This is one page of that. And then if you go to other one, it is like that. Skill development title here. You go to other one. It's another title here on pages, various pages. I put file there. In this, it's difficult to give all your photo here, so I just put a file there. I'll try to give you a video here, in which is actually, this is a collected video. This is skill development for building construction. This is put on script just for information. I'm putting on this is slide number 1. You go further down, you will find these pages, skill development, and this is building engineering professionals, and this is further quality management, and then building and applications, specifications, and then this is dispute, this is output observations, then there's method statements, then site works activities, superstructure counter duration, then so many other items are there on this program. This all you can go through. This file is already put on script.com. URL is given in the text of this video. There's a video on video, there's a position of video on real video, and this is just for information. I'm putting it that this is a file placed in there, so you can go through that and open this for reading, which gives you initiation of skill development of building construction. There are so many issues involved with this. In brief, I have given this. If you're a student of engineering or you're doing an engineering or professional in engineering, you can go through that, and in future we shall give more information on that in this case. And that's all. Thank you very much. So it's just informative video put on there. And now I'm just going to say, first of all, let me just remind you that my name is just to remind you, Suraj Singh. I'm a qualified civil engineer and registered international professional engineer in India. And that's by Institution of Engineers India, located in Calcutta, in India, Bharat. I did this presentation in 2016 in Institute of Engineers, Faridabad local center. But time given was very short here because I just tried to do it in 10 minutes. But as you see, in 10 minutes, not possible to present your detailed technicalities. But in institutions, seminars, this usually happens. Don't allow you more program. They waste time in photo sessions, they waste time in price distributions, and in all those issues which are just pragmatic, dramatic, not involved in technical discussion. This is a program which is technically discussed with you. If you go, I put on this video text certain files, URLs which are already available on script.com, which is a book site, and you can just use these URLs for understanding what I'm saying, because I cannot project here complete file. You can just open that file when I am talking to you and just to go through that, and we will discuss further, or you can a second visit of this video, you can do that. But this file which I'm giving you is very important, and before giving this file, just trying to explain why I'm doing all this. I have been here going on visiting my sites of buildings in this area and in this country, and even compared to other countries where I got before, I find a lot of difference in practical activities being conducted in this country, our beautiful country, Bharat. Many houses are being called, I used to visit them even walking on road, on street, and see what they were doing. The quality issues were tragically rubbish. I cannot even imagine that if quality is taken in this country, here is conducted, is rubbish and out of context. No one takes care of that. There are builders, there are promoters, there are contractors, they themselves call experts, and they don't know anything about expertise of engineering and building construction, ABCD of engineering. They just bring materials and put it, that's all, that's duty. Architects do a plan, architect doesn't know what engineering is, what structure is, how building construction is the out of context of mind of a architect, and architect or engineer is not available because people are not interested in employing engineers and they don't know what is engineering, what is architecture, what's the difference between the two disciplines. This is impossible here to understand and to make people understand what they should do. I talk to many people, they don't care about. And really, quality control in building construction is dropping day by day, day by day. It is going to a level where even foolish person will not accept that building if you keep international laws, international codes, international procedures into your presence. This has happened. Engineers are not seen, and those are seen are working in offices, in designs, or in plannings. They are not hired on sites to supervise and superintendent works of buildings. They think building is just a work of excavation, putting some brickwork or some structural beams or columns, erect columns and walls together, and then they call so-called linter or slab, just put in that and that's all. This is what building is for them. They bring steel already bent or 12-meter bars, they bring already bent in trucks and dump there on site, even in soil, and leave it to exposed to weather conditions, adverse conditions or unadverse conditions or good conditions or bad conditions. There is no one to bother about that. This is what is going on, and then later on they see defects are coming in, building are settling and water is penetrating into building, and in the basement, see when they do like that. It's really unfortunate. It brings pain to me. No concern to safety, no concern to engineering, no concern to design, no concern to execution. Just do it, finish, just like you can say unofficial you do. That's all. They want to give you a beautiful paint, beautiful plaster, rendering, and that's it. They say, I am promoter, I am builder, I am this and I am that. I am really very upset. The state of this country's buildings. I'm not talking of where there are engineers and supervisors and designers, they are looking after building. So state there may be different. But I'm talking in general where people are making their houses, construction houses, architects involved. There's no one to supervise, there's no one to check, there's no one to worry about anything. This happens. But whom you cannot tell anybody. If you talk to someone, they say, oh, you come from Gulf or you come from there and you're talking as such, it's not possible here. And this is India and this is Bharat and everything is like this. This happens. And this brings tears into my, invisible tears into my eyes, invisible tears into my mind, how these people are spending money without knowing what will be the result. After all, it is not free. They are spending huge sums on buildings. I have seen bundles of 25 still lying just for a two-story houses, having not spent more than, not more than 5 meter or 4 meter, 3 meter, 25 meters still they put in there. I put this in this beam and this foundation, in this slab I'll put 12 mm dia, this and that, and that's all. That's a design. There's a thumb rule or leg rule. I don't know what rule is that, but they do like that. I said, why are you using this steel 25 mm for this? No, this is required. They know it is required. This is wastage of time, wastage of money, wastage of natural resources, and wastage of your own life. You are spending this money redundantly. This money, if you saved here, could you use somewhere else in a better position, better work, better life making. But you're not doing that. You're not able to spend a small amount for a structural engineer or civil engineer to supervise and design this building. You are spending that money redundantly on reinforcement, extra reinforcement, and not checking concrete. I have seen concrete lines on roads, on streets for 2 hours, 3 hours, unused. People have gone for lunch. Same thing applies for mortar. People have gone lunch, leaving it aside. You will have mixed up, and then they come again to use fawla, you can say kassi or whatever you call it, and they start making again. This is a skill development here. Believe me, this country is a country of hell. 60-70% money is spent, budget is spent in civil construction development works, and this is quality here. Even on roads, when government people, I have seen street roads completely they're late and they don't care no quality, they don't care of anything. There is a quality program, there is a quality control, everything is there in paper size. So 9001, 2015 or 2008 was the before, but there is nothing in fact. There is no cleanliness, there is no quality, there is no safety, there is nothing, 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 and nothing. This is what is happening. People may take me differently, but I am telling you facts. After all, I'm not getting anything out of my talk. I'm not getting any benefit from this, but it is my duty being an engineer of this country to tell people what facts are. People should know what I am talking. Students should know what I am talking, because students of engineering are going to work in future. Professionals should know what I am talking. Professionals are also responsible for this. There is no professional from government, there is no professional from private sector who is serious and careful about this. Government people don't go to sites, don't see, don't supervise. I have seen many, I was in many sites of projects, seen same thing is there, no system, nothing, no controls of quality requirement, no control of system, no control of material, and no skill development, but they are moving as if they have to move without any concern. They don't bother about anything, they don't bother about anything in engineering. Contract out of their question, text out of their conscience, specification out of their context, drawing out of their context, design out of their context. Only thing is do it, erect it, and finish it. That's all. Maybe you are angry with me. Be angry. I don't bother about that because I'm telling facts. It's money after all. Money and material. You cannot abuse natural resources for your choice, for your happiness. That is very bad, really. I have put a file just for a representation. I'm telling you. Now this file, you go to this first page of the file, this is skill development file, and on this you'll find a photograph of a small building which is having 2 or 3 stories, and I've just narrated there. Cantilevers are shown, internal columns and external columns are shown, and the representation is given for purpose of public. And this is a cantilever beam, this is a column cast one go. I have written column casted one go because this is a 3.5 meter column, or let us say 3 to 4 meters in between. This column is cast in one go, means we have tried to do as much as possible monolithic column, because it could be cast in 2 stages or in 3 stages, but in that case you have to work double on slump check, you have to work double on alignment check, you have to work double on everything. Better make better wider size of column and cast in one go, so that to an extent, if column is concerned, it should be monolithic casting. Then I see cantilever beams written there. I have just seen in balconies, people don't use beams, they just cast even up to 6 feet long or 1.8 meter long span cantilever slabs without beams, and they don't care about them. In future, and slag, it's, you can say sags, or you can say deflects down. They put some other arrangement there, like a decorative pillar or like something else, which is not acceptable. There is then cantilever projection is indicated, monolithic beam is indicated, column is indicated, and beams and suspended slab etc. are indicated. They are monolithically, and this is RCC building. Ground floor is indicated, basement floor is indicated. This is just for purpose of indication only, nothing to do with anything else. Then it's very important to know here. Then you go to next one. This is skill development is written requirements for young civil engineers to learn. They must learn professionally work reinforcement concrete building, all types of categories, columns casting full height in one go, beams and slab casting in one go, monolithic, RCC structural framing. If you go to another one, it is structural framing of reinforced concrete building. This paper talks is given something, some noting is there. General considerations, budding for budding engineers, site safety, operational health. And we go to further one, the general considerations, budding engineering professionals. A question is raised. Who I'm talking is a question is here: who should we call a young engineer? My answer is when the engineer is attaining certain considerable post-graduation experience up to 10 years in related engineering discipline field. Means up to 10 years you cannot call him young engineer, because he's learning a budding engineer. You cannot entitle an engineer to work as an independent professional. And it's actually international, such engineers are called discipline engineers and field engineers, who are instructed to prosecute activities as member part of on-site frontline management. You know, frontline management just works on site, and front is include foreman, supervisor, junior engineer, assistant engineer, all those who work on site and run details and engineering technicalities. They're called frontline management. And then the discipline engineer works in offices, they work on sites. Field engineers work with site discipline engineers, design of coordination of works activities and design review. All that is in by disciplinary engineers, and field engineers run this project on site by support of foreman, supervisor, and other technicians. Then the generally bachelor engineers and postgraduate engineers are preferably interested in design of buildings from very beginning. Reason being, there may be many reasons. The new engineers who are interested in the building designs only. There could be many reasons. They be due to certain easy availability of computer softwares. They're interested in computer softwares first of all. Then actually they are young engineers prefer to learn design, which allows work on desk job in comfortable working, ergonomically established offices. Again, I tell you, they prefer designs, these young engineers, because first of all, it allows them to work on computers in safe working conditions, in comfortable environment, in fresh environment, in AC, sitting in offices on ergonomically designed desks. Then that due to further effect that in initial years of post-graduation working experience, that they remember all related engineering design formulas and design sequences involved in structural designs. Then they are fresh. You remember what you learned in your university or in college, in your graduation, post-graduation, and you feel like that you're comfortable in designs. But it is ignored. It's very something significant point just stating is, it's to know that no engineering book is till date available in whole world that fulfills all building design requirements, considerations from understanding soil engineering to final completion of any RC building. This is very important. This point is very, very important. You cannot just ignore this point. Not at all. Let's go further on. What I should say, the point is RC building, yes. Soil engineering, but it is ignored that no engineering book till date is available in the whole world that fulfills all building design requirements, considerations from understanding soil engineering to final completion of building and production. Producing successful designs of building as well necessitates, if you want to produce some successful design of buildings, it necessitates incorporation of earned experience. Experience that you got in your life is called earned experience, because that no one can snatch from you, no one can pull it up from you. It's like a degree you earn or diploma you earn in your engineering. Similarly, experience is also equivalent to degree or diploma that you earn in field. Necessitates incorporation of earned experience from field work, doing site working on buildings projects using mental and physical energy. Staying at hard work life for many years, which practice equips an engineer with an attainment to practically understand from field engineering disciplines hereinafter, given various engineering and construction topics in limited details. Once again, I repeat, this is very important. Staying at hard work for many years. You have to work hard for many years, which practice equips an engineer. That is an equipment for you, that experience is support for you as an engineer with an attainment to practically understand from field engineering, because field engineering is your teacher, not your university engineering. Field engineering is your teacher. It will tell you reality of life and engineering. It will tell you facts of life, not fiction. Understand field engineering disciplines here and after, given various engineering and construction topics and limited details. Then site occupational safety issues, health, SHE so called, an engineer must be inducted to site safety management prior to commencing construction engineering activities on site, particularly updated one in 2015. That's the updated one, revised one. It's part on site engineer's responsibility to ensure that site is safe for work and kept tidy during all working hours, every day, every shift. And it's really sad to say that whenever you visit some site, you will not find it clear, you will not, access will be difficult, there will be materials lying here and there haphazardly, and there will no cleaning at all, no clearing. So people will not be busy with material risk management, material lying here and there, and this site is not tied, it should be tied, it's untidy, really it's not acceptable. That it can cause accident, it cause site fall, it can cause anything. It's also required to ensure that all necessary amenities are available on site for workers and staff, such as drinking water. You know all that. Then quality management also, you can say, what about quality management? Annex SL I'm talking. This is 9001 2015 document of quality management from this Institute of International Organization, ISO. An engineer must be inducted to quality management system prior to commencing construction engineering activities on site, particularly ISO 9001-2015, with maximum significance attributed to leadership, risk resolutions, and documented information, which is really extremely significant from a leadership involvement, and which responsibility directly lies with top boss. Which obligation cannot be left to quality section alone, as used to be effected in past till September 2015. Quality representation no more essential. I repeat this again. Which obligation is obligation of quality management, quality system? Which obligation cannot be left to quality section alone, as used to be affected in past till September 2015, time, year when quality representative program was revised. Quality management requires to achieve its objective for Annex SL format. This is a title. Annex SL is format all quality complying methods, design, all inspection forms, all other contextual quality documentations for internal as well as for external audits in form of supporting documents. Project quality plan. Annex SL format is high level structural common template. You can read this Excel. I have put so many files somewhere, and you can even go to Excel and search Google and find that all risks whatsoever are considered prior to handling them. Analysis effectively conducted, understood, and applied safely to lead to further work opportunity or development opportunity. Updated ISO 9001-2015 does not allow risk prevention, but risk to be encountered by conducting its thorough study and charting out best solution to combat it, so that it changes from risk prevention dealing to an opportunities creation. All quality formats should be ready at time of every work activity that requires inspection by quality engineer, followed by contract resident engineer. I will tell you all this term resident engineer, all the management studies, and you want to speak about that. But now I'm just talking about this skill development. You must know there's a resident engineer, who is representative here, who works on behalf of contract engineer. Quality formats may include checklist, inspection and test plans, general inspection requests, concrete inspection requests, depending upon project quality plan. These are formats required for purpose of execution of work and for purpose of check of work and purpose of provision of all that. Then we can say, in our country, Bharat, India, main provisions related to building designs and prosecutions are indicated on National Building Code 2005, now revised, but under revision, which was under revision at that time when I presented this one in 2016. Now again, I don't know what actual revision is there not. I'm not sure about that, but whatever, it doesn't make a difference here for this presentation, which is very descriptive for purpose of buildings, construction, relevant administration of construction, supervision. It's not necessary that only NBC 2005 and other Indian codes are required for applications for designs and constructions in India. Not necessarily alone those are required. Euro codes can also be used throughout India. Is not Eurocode, Eurocode. This Eurocode issued by European countries, having 28 nations, parliament, etc. These Eurocodes can also be used through, though India is not ready yet. We are not ready as Bharat, as India, as a country. We are not ready to details work out. We have not at all. We have so far ignored them. They were just copying them. We are just using directly Eurocode. We don't have replacement of our own local one. That's called in nationally issued documents. We don't have at all. So Eurocodes can also be used. So India is not ready yet to practically use them, since there are about 58 parts in these civil related issues, related to structures. Which Eurocodes use necessitate national annexes giving local geographical, climatic and other factors known as nationally determined parameters, national published documents to be adopted and included. These Eurocodes are consistently technical and descriptive and have been worked in complete details, which can be studied by fresh engineers for purpose to enhance international code knowledge. I don't know they will like it or not, but because they are so all comfortable, they want a comfortable life. There's no culture of studying now. There's no culture of reading books or reading literature. So this culture has gone. Unfortunately, it's happened and people are not interested in that. Well, it's up to them. If they want to be good engineers, they have to do something. If they want just to leave engineering, no problem. Go to management, go to wherever you want to go. But if you want to be good engineer, you have to read all this. Without understanding all this, you cannot be called engineer. You may call yourself engineer for girlfriend, but in fact, in practice and profession, you cannot call yourself engineer until you are independent to work on this. An engineer should further learn and feel how to do land surveying. It's very important. Activities manually as well as using GPS directly or changing a third party. You can use that through search, but if you don't know how to use GPS, how to lay out your sites, set off, there are third party specialists available, you can use them. And let them certify that this setting out is okay, this benchmark is okay, this level mark is okay, and this layout is okay. Both coordinates you can take and fix on site and let them certify that he used this on site, he established on site, so that you are safe and our work is professional. Whereas third party is preferred since they have experience of GPS working all site settings. Duly formally certified and site benchmarks are established. Because then how soil investigation method in field is conducted by qualified material testing laboratory is too significant for an engineer to involve with this activity to understand site nature for laying foundations or to install dewatering system if required on site on any project. That is also very, very important. You cannot just condone that. Let's go now to soil investigation has been talked of, and qualified material laboratory has been talked of, installation of dewatering system has been talked of. These are not details, just referring to. These are required, these are requirements. Then with what detailed soil investigation report issued by testing laboratory must be studied for interpretation. Professional laboratory issues very long documents in relation to soil investigation report, reports of boreholes and report of pits, test pits, etc. There are so many tests conducted in soil, electrical resistivity tests and so other tests, load bearing tests, and you can say borehole documentation. So everything is done with nature of soil. They recommend what type of soil is that, what you should do, and what you do. They recommend bearing capacities. They recommend other parameters. They recommend all types of issues involved in this, so that you reach certain design position which you can apply and feel that's what's required here. And will what soil investigation report issued the testing laboratory must be studied by interpretation purpose respectfully, respecting all sites and house tests conducted by laboratory, though thought should be given whatever or not shall there be certain possibility for design produced by structural engineer be requested to be altered in foundations. Whatever, suppose maybe you get soil investigation report, it's not necessarily a design you got from engineer who was a design engineer is resembles to that report. That report could be on a safer side, or that report could be on a non-safer side. If it's safer side, then you think that report given by field laboratory, which is more important than assumed by the structural engineer, if you think that you can save money and designs of foundations, you can do that. You can refer it back to structural engineer to reconsider this purpose of design. If there's going to be saving in foundation, that is welcome. Many soil reports include consistent professional information pertinent soil specifications, chemical compositions, water contents, and soil water mobility, which are very technical issues that could be studied in details in Alliance Soil Design and Textbooks. Soil report could require modification of soil properties. Soil report could require modification of soil properties by application of soil improvement operations, which should be defined by soil engineer authoring soil report. Which method of soil improvement must be followed accordingly under laboratory surveillance. Once all foundation designs have been finalized in all respects, practical aspects, related construction activities commence with, provided contract execution party has been awarded by either project management team or by client, as could be a case of building ownership. So let's go further then. Specifications I'm talking of now. Theory portion has gone, design portion has gone. Theory specification is very important. We have to commence saying, let me see, the signals are long. Yes, till now there are signals things gone, and we can just talk on further. It's only 28 minutes. Prior to commencement of site activities, site engineer requires to understand practically all relevant specifications such as general project and particularly as well material manufacturer's instructions, so that it's known beforehand what is required to be done on site. Technically, I just repeat for information. Again, maybe it's too fast to speak like this. Prior to commencement of site activities, site engineer requires to understand practically all relevant specifications such as general project in particular as well as material manufacturing instructions so that it's known beforehand what is required to be done on site technically. Site setting out dimensions and details on site such as physical dimensions and setback in all zones must be ensured that all met design details. Site setting out dimensions and details on site such as physical dimensions and setbacks in all zones must be ensured that all meet design details. And then we go further along planning and schedules for project. Planning and scheduling for project. I am talking schedule. You may take scheduling. Doesn't matter because the schedule is in English. Not from America. Well, schedule is English, not from US, from England. It's up to you. Doesn't make a difference. I'm used to speak schedule, so I'm talking schedule. Though there will be available planning and scheduling engineer on every site, yet they too are not certainly pragmatic due to having lack of experience. Every site engineer has to contemplate or give thought to project and conduct analysis related to all activities from commencement stage to completion stage. Every site engineer must work out quantities of all permanent, temporary, and preparatory materials, as I am calling as permanent, temporary, and preparatory materials, which are very important from project point of view. Permanent materials also, which are used, which are paid for, which are used for permanent forever. They are constructing buildings, for example, reinforced steel, concrete, brickwork, blockwork, all permanent materials. Temporary and preparatory materials also temporary materials for support for work. Preparatory materials, for example, shuttering, and you can say props, and you can say whatever else is there. These are all preparatory works, temporary works, preparatory works, permanent works are there for whole project requirements, and this divide, distribute quantities proportionately stage-wise so that funding sequence can be managed without affecting adversely device cash flow. What does it mean is there are so many items, there are so many materials available on site or required to be procured for such project, and you have to procure them depending on the program. They go to plan is when you have the start project, when you go to complete project, and there are so many stages, and you have materials of temporary material, permanent material, preparatory material. You have to stage-wise give dates of that, and if keeping in your house site is run, you have to procure that material at that time particularly. Not you cannot bring all material dump on site, or you cannot wait for 2 months when work has stopped. No, it's not allowed. So you have to make a sequence through your quantity manager, quantity manager, quantity engineer, or yourself. You can make, because you're also a civil engineer, you can do all that yourself. There should not be a gap between date of requirement and date of procurement or date of delivery, whatever it is. In fact, analysis and various stages on schedule of project construction would decide cash flow status. Yes, you can spend all money once the cash flow is required. Whatever money you are spending, it must come back as a bill or evaluation of your work done. If it doesn't come back, how can you manage? You cannot take, you cannot unlimited funds. You cannot allot to a project. You'll make losses on bank. You can say bonds and whatever performance bond and tender bond, all this. You have to take this from banks, and if you spend money once for all, it will harm you financially, stop your cash flow, and give losses in finances, which is very significant from working and professional and project execution prosecution from project administration viewpoint. Now let us go to someone else. Prior to carrying out every activity or operation, is the responsibility of site engineer in charge to ensure that all coordination among all designs, working drawings have been completed, indicating that no clash exists for purpose of execution or constructability. In case site engineer discovers that certain clashes exist, or there is non-parity, non-parity, or non-compatibility among designs, technical query should immediately be raised for purpose of obtaining clarification, technical clarification, design clarification, or engineering clarification, and right decision obtained from either structural designer or responsible resident engineer or whosoever defined authority being responsible for such site work related documentations or making activities. For a foresight purpose, site engineer should study project drawings in following sequence: architectural general, engineering general arrangements, plans, elevations and sections, structural working plans, elevations and sections, mutual coordination between both architectural and structural disciplines, building services working plans and complete details on schematic designs, as well as on shop drawings and coordination with structural arrangements. Dimensions of all drawings, all designs must be ensured in all directions, in all respects. Drawings are set as layout plans at every level, every floor, which must be coordinated with each other disciplines to discover clashes. Then work output observation and its applications are important from time management and from management, financial management, work management viewpoint. Every site engineer should practically observe during working hours what output is delivered by skilled and semi-skilled trade person. Working equipment, since theoretical data may not work successfully in various cases of operations and unit item activities. There are many hours on site when operations are not seen dynamically moving, yet work moves passively, but production is affected. Very close interactive. Coordination should be conducted by engineers with supervisors, foremen, charge hands, and work persons. Which approach would result in picking too easily what process for each activity is to go, which can be no takedown by engineer in site office. Execution of involved items on site. Now back to execution part of reinforced concrete buildings for implementation further for implementing further operations described. Foreman and workforce handling. First requirement, the engineer should learn about how to handle foremen working on site and workforce belonging to all trades, which is very complex nature of topic, since every foreman and worker intend to evaluate supervising engineers to whom working personal reports for works allotments and examination of activities. These personnel remain interested to ensure that they work under right person and not as such an engineer who fails to either deliver instructions in time or who fails to plan day by day activities successfully. These persons do not like as such situation. When they reach site, there is no one to immediately allot whole day work. Successful engineer on site is one who does not believe in wasting any moment when works are moving and are in full swing, which requires site engineer to pull out all planned activities in such a manner that there should be created no gap between end of one activity and start of sequential activity. Then we'll go to methods to help acceptable and smooth execution. So we'll just see method statements. Too significant for work means you cannot start a work for international practice to start certain work on site, even for excavation or even for setting or some whatever else activities defined including a project. You have no right to start that for international management, quality management, until there is a method statement or procedure statement available and duly approved by competent authority. If you are working for a contractor, you must produce an activity statement, and before that, all complete project statement, execution statement, follow, and the activity statement must tell you major activities, procedures, how shall you follow, what equipment shall get there, or labor you shall get there, human resources shall get there, whatever is required for completing that activity is called method statement. That must be available and approved by you, by consultant, by engineer, and whosoever involved on the project, and that is called method statement. Some people call it procedure, so it doesn't matter you call it method statement or procedure, means it's same thing. Scope, it involves scope of work. This is scope of work. If a statement format is scope of work, design drawings and specifications references, safety procedures, quality procedures, supervision responsibility, description of method to work on site, equipment to be used on site, and include whatever be of practical sequence importance so that site crew knows what they have to work about. So this is brief description of method statement. Then there are major activities or operations. Major activities or operations that are in general involved on RC buildings, which are listed below. Example, engineering management activities. I'm just starting with site takeover to define coordinates, means survey, setting out initial surveys, as I said, was just by you using GPS and all that. Setting out engineering and technical coordination related to designs, planning and scheduling, respecting whole project through scheduling and planning, engineer requiring work permits if so involved on work permits regarding to hot work and cold work programs, and that's generally on oil projects this happens, or energy project this happens, not exactly on building projects, but there must be, if it's required, a building is located in energy area or in oil area, then these permits are required. That's for the reason I included here. Quantity engineering for working out quantities to be used for all works for stages. Drawing bar bending schedules for all RCC elements. Studying all specifications such as project in general, and understanding all contract conditions and contract forms, which I'll take in later one. Just I'm giving you what is required is contract documents. What is contract conditions? There is including contract documents, contract procedures, contract administration, and then field engineering. Charting out method steps, all fielding topic. Let's say now. Site field management activities, setting out foundations areas for excavations, piling and pile testing if included, soil improvement if included, preparation of foundations formations, blending concrete called lean in India, soil protection, waterproofing below ground, retaining walls for basements. Then we go to foundation works, including footings, stub columns, plinth or steel beams. All approvals required to be obtained. Foundation concrete protection by waterproofing below ground. Backfill of foundations with approved soil fill in layers duly compacted. Soil testing related to backfill. Now, what happens in India? Here, nobody is scared of backfill. Which is called backfill means once you excavate, you construct foundations and so portion or voids between existing earth, existing you can say soil, and constructed one is to be backfilled. That's called backfill. What people do here, they just bring soil and dump in, and that's all. The backfill is there. It's not that. Backfill is an activity. It's a technical engineering method. You have to do accordingly. Otherwise, building will sink in future. The cracks formation falls, and if building settles, means everything is gone. You have to waste that building. You have to demolish that building. It's more than required settlement is there. Therefore, these very important activities means indicate only for convenience. We say that no. Back once again, the foundation working building footing, step columns, building. What is step column? Step column is a small column that's between foundation, footing, and ground level. That's called step column, a small column, and then plinth you can say it. And steel beams are the joining all these columns, and all operations required to be obtained. Foundation concrete protection by waterproofing below ground level. What happens that we are doing foundation RCC, we are doing in ground portion in soil, but we are not protecting it by just waterproofing application on that, and the production of waterproofing then thereby backfill of foundation with approved soil fill. We are not doing that. We are just taking it everything filling in clay or filling in whatever soil available. We don't care about anything that technically should be taken care of, because we are that type of community in this country. Then work of ground beams and grade slab on ground suspended floor slab, all complete pouring activities, method statements, all rebar fabrication placing to details, all season inspection conducted by site engineers and quality engineer concrete pouring. I give you this description separately because in this file I could not get all that which I wanted to give you. I'm just giving you what slide says. Slide says so many things also, but I'm not able to do. So what I'm saying is, I'll get you detail of that after this slides are over. Already I have this slide 21. Then I'm saying the next slide is full range testing of aggregate, coarse and fine, testing of cement materials, OPC, MS, GGBS, PFA. OPC is already cement, which is not easy to use. OPC is obsolete actually. There is a replacement of cement by many additives, many admixtures. Not admixtures, you can say replacement cementing materials. You can say additionally supporting cementing materials like microsilica, like GGBS, like PFA. Microsilica is silica fumes, and GGBS glass, ground glass, blast furnace slag. PFA is pulverized fuel ash. These are called cementing replacement materials. Supplementary cementing material, you may say. Cement is there, but this part of cement is replaced by these methods, by these materials, the microsilica, GGBS, and PFA. Therefore, OPC is not pure in this case. These materials do not allow cracks in concrete. These are low shrinking materials. These are giving benefits of materials, can say. High temperature accepts that there's a delay in setting, but these don't allow immediate cracks. These support concrete in different way. There is a water penetration resistance due to these materials. There are so many other parameters, other characteristics, other criteria involved in this. We'll talk later on for personal skill development. And then design mix, central mixing plant is batching plant, you call it. Here you see the standard batching plant. This country, they're just bringing some material in this mixer and dumping on sites without any care. There's no mobile pump. There's just old 20-30 years old pumps which are stationary, and pipe is taken from one point to other point. Means they just want to waste money for nothing. Concrete carrying trucks, transit mixers, mobile cranes, tower cranes, concrete pump, mobile stationary, concrete vibrators, immersion nozzle type, ice water to control fluid concrete temperature, etc. This is a slide. I'll give you details on that. Superstructure concrete activities, all are not in this. So just I'll brief whatever I can read now for the purpose so that you get some point of that. In concrete, let me get a glass of water. It is, I'm feeling thirsty. I think maybe I'm talking too fast and you're not able to listen to me properly. Well, this is no. Let me just half second. Yes. So, concrete surface inspection, repairs management, concrete testing report and preparation, concrete approval when 7 and 28 days cube reports are acceptable, erection of columns up to beam soffit level, erection of shear wall up to beam bottom level, erection of lift walls up to required level, for suspended slab designs for centering in standard scup lock system, installation of supporting grid system, say 1.2 to 2.4 meters, installation of scaffolding around, installation of safe access platform with guard wall, guardrail, preparatory work for suspended slabs, including monolithic beams, formwork and reinforcing bars, leveling, formwork and setting out alignment, formwork oil applications if required, chamfer fixing ducts posages, reinforcing bars placement bottom layer. Then it is electrical first fix. We call it electrical first fix, mechanical first fix, etc. Electrical first fix, conduits laying, junction boxes, band, long bands, drawing wires, blockouts, fixing for HVAC, ducting, sanitary blockouts, reinforcing bars, placement, top layer, staircase, waste slab and landing reinforcements, steps formwork, beams, side formworks at periphery, compressor cleaning all prepared areas, concrete profile level fixing, final cleaning, watering, removal of nails, removal of binding wires pieces and timber pieces, etc. All quality control inspections, plan to pour implementation is called, order to concrete mixing plant for delivery time to start and frequency of supply, pouring concrete in conformance to concrete pouring plan, curing, removal of formwork, surface inspections, all further repetitions vertically. In case precast concrete, they use vertical members, columns, walls to be cast, horizontal beams to be cast, precast slabs, members to be shifted from factory yard, raised and installed on beams. Then slab diaphragm to be laid up these precast slabs and diaphragm actions inducted. Contract issues, after these technical issues, now just briefing on contract issues. An engineer requires to understand clearly about what responsibilities need to be disposed of on contracts. When working for contract defined engineer, it requires to supervise allocated works, in which case working engineer is designated resident engineer or engineering assistant. I just told you that I'll define that. When working for contract defined engineer, it requires to supervise allocated works, in which case working engineer is designated resident engineer or engineering assistant. When working for a contractor, it requires to prosecute works under supervision of contract engineer or resident engineer or project manager, in which case engineer is designated site agent or project construction engineer, site engineer or construction manager. Then contract manager for communications further. Contract issues and professional communications. All foregoing discussion is an objective for quality construction ability and value added engineering, which phenomenon has been in demand during all years. Current demand requires that with economized funds, works be delivered better than specified quality within same or reduced cost, save times and better achieve quality. Quality does not mean here in quality control, but quality of production, which should be based on to achieve reliability, which further means safety plus service plus the reliability. That is called quality system. Safety of working on construction and safety on structures, and that service which building product provides during its working life and during its intended duration of working life, and that it should serve efficiently without causing any reduction of service standards. Out of foregoing classes of responsibilities, ultimate product of building items are delivered by contracting engineers, which means that this class of engineer must have complete knowledge about contract and construction documents, construction quality and reliability of construction. Only then construction engineer will be qualified to work on construction operations, activities to carry out job responsibilities successfully and add to continuous professional development. Site engineer should try to record all issues formally raised and conferred in site meetings, site decision made, technical decisions made about miscellaneous matters, so that contract commercial disputes are avoided to an extent practically feasible. Legal contractual matters are better resolved on project or filling which all records are maintained related to involved issues and proper speaking communications entered into for further use. When disputes are referred to dispute resolution boards or statutory arbitration mechanisms, communication is very significant on contracts. Management, which an engineer must develop to practice such skill gradually but progressively by referring to past records of organization and by making personal efforts, since management major task depends on successful communication. Communication should be pointed but certain in its structure. Superfluous writing is no meaning. Superfluous talk is no meaning. Talk less but relevant. Communication requires work on clarifications, agreements, approvals of proposals, understanding better statements, one-to-one meeting records, reports, memos, instructions, contact matters, notices, contact disputes, etc., which all foregoing ones, well versed, entertained, young engineers shall be competent to develop skill of other workers. The engineer subordinates, Dhanyavad, Jai Bharat. These are just what I said. It's on whatever I could read from this uh, slides, but this is not complete. I'll try to find something else so that more talk can be made to you, which is very important because this is just incomplete talk. I'll just go to further files and let you know about that. It's very important because we should know something in a professional way, not simply just reading a lot. My purpose is giving something to you in a different fashion. And now I'm going to this is yes, it is in yes skill development. Yes, I'd like to open this. I'm just open to by this file, which is not same one, it is different one. No, yes, it is here. So I have opened my PowerPoint presentation and read it for you once again. Same thing happened. I go to major portion where I just had some difficulty in telling you. First page I'll read again. This paper, this talk has been divided into following sections for information again. This is general considerations, budding engineers, professionals. A, regarding that it is general considerations, budding engineers and engineering professionals. Site safety, occupational and health. Second one is, so first is regarding budding professionals, general consideration. Second is site safety, occupational health. Third is quality management, ISO 9001 2015 and XSL, and then building code application, field geography and soil exploration. Then specifications for work, planning and scheduling for project, engineering coordination, work output, observation and its application. Then next is execution of involved items on site, methods to help acceptable and smooth work move, site field management activities, contract issues and professional communications. Then is general consideration is whether I show a question is raised like that. That I will not go again because I already given you that. Next one I'll give you where I was missing something. Activities is bad thing so. So I'll just browse to that point. NXSL I have told you, and then I'll go down further to see. Sometimes what happens when I take PDF from internet, it goes a different way. So let us specifications. In specifications also I had given. Once again, because specification is very important, let me read it for you further. So revise it so that it's better for you. Planning and scheduling for projects. Though there will be available planning and scheduling engineer on every site, yet they too are not certainly programmatic. Programmatic due to having lack of experience, every site engineer has to contemplate or give thought to project and conduct analysis related to all activities from commencement stage to completion stage. Every site engineer must work out quantities of all permanent temporary and proprietary materials for whole project requirements and distribute the quantities proportionally stage wise so that funding sequence can be managed without affecting adversely device cash flow. And every site engineer must work out quantities. Okay. In fact, analysis in various stages on the schedule of project construction would decide cash flow status, which is very significant from working project execution, prosecution from project administration viewpoint. Then I'm saying engineering coordination, which is very important. Again, I'm telling you, coordination is very important, so I'll repeat it for you so that you don't forget that. Prior to carrying out every activity or operation, it is the responsibility of site engineer in charge to ensure that coordination among all designs and working drawings have been completed, indicating that no clash exists for purpose of execution constructability. In case site engineer discovers that certain clashes exist or there is non-parity or non-compatibility among designs and among designs, technical query should immediately be raised for purpose of obtaining clarification and right decision obtained from either structural designer or responsible resident engineer or whosoever defined authority being responsible for such site work related decision making activities. For a foreseen purpose, site engineer should be ready, should study projects drawings in following sequence. Sequences like this: architectural, general arrangement plans, elevations and sections, then structural working plans, elevations and sections, then mutual coordination between both architectural and structural disciplines, building services working plans and complete details on schematic designs as well as on shop drawings and coordination with structural arrangements. Dimensions on all drawings must be ensured in all directions, in all respects. Drawings are set as layout plans at every floor, which must be coordinated with each other discipline to discover clashes. Let me check whether it is working or not. Because the problem, yes, it still is working. Working output observation is application. Every site engineer should practically observe during site working hours what output is delivered by skilled and semi-skilled trade persons working equipment, since theoretical data may not work successfully in various cases of operations and unit item activities. There are many hours on site when operations are not seen dynamically moving, yet work is moved. Work moves passively, but production is affected. Very close interaction, very close interactive coordination should be conducted by engineers with supervisors, foremen, charge hands, and work persons, which approach would result in picking too easily what process for each activity is to go, which can be noted down by engineer in site offices. Now, back to execution part of reinforcement concrete buildings for implementing further operations described foreman and workforce handling. First requirement, an engineer should learn about how to handle foremen working on site and workforce belonging to all trades, which is very complex nature of topic, since every foreman and worker intends to evaluate supervising engineer to whom working personnel report for work, allotment and examination of activity. These personnel remain interested to ensure that they work under right person and not as such as an engineer who fails to either deliver instructions in time or who fails to plan day-to-day activities successfully. These persons do not like as such situation when they reach site, there is no one to immediately allot whole day work. Successful engineer on site is one who does not believe in wasting any moment when works are moving and are in full swing, which requires site engineer to pull out all planned activities in such a manner that there should be created no gap between end of one activity and start of sequential activity. Site engineer should remember about when work method statements are ready in hands regarding each and every minor or major operations. Planning for operational activity can move with comfort without causing any mix-up of what to do and what not to do. To commence with excavation of building, and excavation plan is required to be produced defining where entry ramp is to be located for purpose of ingress and egress, so that all excavation equipment operates smoothly with good circulation in excavated area, allowing trucks and shovels work without causing any inconvenience mishaps. All method statements for all activities site executions must be ready, duly approved prior to commencement of concerned activities. Now, for method statements, the format is a scope of work, design, drawings, and specific references, safety procedures, quality procedures, supervision responsibility, description of method to work on site, equipment to be used, etc., and include whatever be of practical sequence so that site crew knows what they have to work about. Now, major activities, I'm going to tell you this. Remember, major activities operations that are in general involved on RC buildings projects are listed below as engineering management activities. I'm starting with site takeover to defined coordinates, setting out engineering and technical coordination related to designs, planning and scheduling, respecting whole project through scheduling and planning engineering. Planning engineer requiring work permits is involved, requiring work permits and quantity engineering for working out quantities to be used for all works for all stages, drawing bar bending schedules for all RCS elements, studying all specifications of the project in general. Understanding all contract conditions and contract forms, contract documents, contract procedures, contract administration. Then field engineering is charting out method statements, soil investigation, procurement of soil report for thorough study and interpretation, devising foundations, excavations and soil improvement, technique and methods, installation of piles in wall and pile testing, installation of this diaphragm walls for deep foundations where adjoining structures is an issue to be resolved, dewatering of strata below foundations until foundations are completely raised up to level above existing water table. Then setting out, this is about the convenience, field engineering continues, part 1 continues. Setting out foundations, area for excavations, piling and pile testing included, if included, soil improvement if included, preparation of foundation formation, blending concrete called in India, soil protection, waterproofing below ground, retaining walls for basements, then foundation works including footings, sub-columns, plinth or strip beams, all approvals required to be obtained, foundation concrete protection by waterproofing, below ground, backfill of foundations with the approved soil fill in layers duly compacted, soil testing related to backfill. Then work of ground beam and grade slab or ground suspended floor slab, all concrete pouring activity according to method statements, all rebar fabrication and placing of details, all stages inspections conducted by site engineer and quality engineer, concrete pouring operation. Full range testing of aggregate, coarse and fine both, testing of cementing materials, OPC, MS, GGBS, PFA, design mix working method, central mixing plant, batching plant, concrete carrying trucks and transit mixers, mobile cranes or tower cranes or concrete pumps, mobile or stationary, concrete vibrators, immersion, nozzle type, ice, water to control fluid of concrete, temperature range 4 degrees Celsius to 32 degrees Celsius, then curing compound, wax base or water base, preferred wax base for proficiency, testing concrete at delivery, slump test, the air void test temperatures, preparations of pouring concrete, closing holes, watering site arrangements, concrete fabrication, application of vibrators intermittently, applications of vibrators intermittently during pouring, concrete leveling vibration, use of template to bring poured concrete to line and levels, power floating to meet top level applications of power float, helicopter once concrete sets, curing by curing compounds, following by water or thermal curing for specification requirement, curing duration depending on concrete specifications and weather conditions, formwork removal depending on factors such as beams, spans, wall heights, etc. Then superstructure concrete activities. I'm just telling these activities because generally people who come out of colleges and also those para professionals or those not very good professionals, they lack understanding of sequences. Let us say, superstructure. Before that, let me see if the connection exists or no. Yes, it still exists, luckily. Superstructure concrete activities, concrete surface inspection, repairs management, concrete testing, report interpretation, concrete approval when 7 and 28 days cube reports are acceptable, erection of columns up to beams soffit level, erection of shear wall up to beams of bottom level, erection of lift walls up to required level, 4 suspended slabs designed for centering and standard cup block system, installation of supporting grid system stage 1.2 into 2.4 meters in plan, installation of scaffolding around, installation of safe access platform with guardrails, preparatory works for suspended slab including monolithic beams, framework, beam formwork and reinforcing bars, leveling formwork and setting out alignment, formwork oil applications required, chamfer fixing to exposed edges, reinforcing bars placement bottom layer. Superstructure continues. Electrical first fix conduits, laying junction boxes, bends, long bends, drawing wires, blockouts, fixing for HVAC, ducting, sanitary blockouts, reinforcing vase placement, top layer, staircase, waste slab and landing reinforcements, steps formwork, beam side formwork at periphery, compressor cleaning all prepared areas, concrete profile level fixing, final cleaning, watering, removal of nails, removal of binding wires, pieces and timber pieces, etc. All quality control inspections, plan to pour implementations, order to concrete mixing plant for delivery time to start and frequency of supply, pouring concrete in conformance to concrete pouring plan, curing removal of forms, surface inspections, all further repeated vertically. In case precast concrete is used, vertical members, columns, walls to be cast, horizontal beams to be cast, precast slab members to be shifted from factory yard, raised and installed on beams, thin slab diaphragm to be laid upon these precast slabs and diaphragm action inducted. Then let's say professional communication and contract issues, which is also very important. An engineer requires to understand clearly about what responsibilities need to be disposed of on contracts. Contract is very complicated issue for fresh engineers. When working for contract defined engineer means there are too many engineers. Engineer who is defined in a contract to look after that work in every responsibility, in every obligations task given, that is called engineer. It's not engineer who's appointed junior engineer, assistant engineer, or superintendent engineer, whatever engineer, whose name or whose position is described in a contract is called engineer, who has to do management contract with employer or who is hired. Irrespective of that, responsibility goes to that engineer regarding design and regarding execution of job or the superintendence. That person responsible is called. When working for contract defined engineer, it requires to supervise allocated works, in which case working engineer is a resident engineer or engineering assistant. When this engineer is so busy, he has a lot of activities to do, many projects, in that what this man can do, this engineer, he can appoint assistant who is named resident engineer, or you can say engineer representative, engineering assistant. This resident engineer is given site responsibility, whereas complete contract responsibility is handled by engineer. When working for a contractor, it requires to prosecute works under supervision of contract engineer or resident engineer or project manager, in which case engineer is designated site agent or project construction engineer or site engineer or construction manager. So there is a resident engineer and here is site agent. See that level. When working in design office, it is a different responsibility to produce core designs to be prosecuted by contracting engineer. Contract issues and professional communities continues. All these discussions, all foregoing discussion is an objective for quality construction ability and value-added engineering, which phenomenon has been in demand during all yesteryears. Current demand requires that with economized funds, works be delivered better than specified quality within same or reduced cost, save time and better achieved quality. Quality doesn't mean quality control, no, but quality of production, quality of system, which should be based on to achieve reliability, which means safety plus serviceability plus durability. Safety of work, safety of working on construction and safety on structure and that service which building product provides during its working life and during its intended duration of working life. That should serve efficiently without causing any reduction of service standards. Out of foregoing classes of responsibilities, ultimate product of building items are delivered by contracting engineers, which means that this class of engineer must have complete knowledge about contracts and construction documents, construction, quality and reliability of construction. Only then construction engineer would be qualified to work on construction operations activities to carry out job responsibilities successfully and add to continuous professional development. Site engineer should try to record all issues formally related, raised and conferred in site meetings. Side decisions made technical decisions. Side decisions made, technical decisions are made, decision made without about miscellaneous matter, so that contract commercial disputes are avoided to an extent practically feasible. Let me repeat this paragraph again. Site engineer should try to record all issues formally related, raised and conferred in site meetings, site decisions made, technical decisions made about miscellaneous matters, so that contract, commercial, department of disputes, commercial disputes are avoided to an extent practically feasible. Sometimes I may repeat, I may because I am speaking something from written one, and there can be difference in reading and speaking. So something happens to my tongue. Don't take it different wise, because you read something, your mind also works. This is problem with the engineer. When reading something, I'm not concentrating reading only. I'm thinking also, and that causes this slip of tongue. I'm not a very expert on reading. You can say I'm not like other people who can read very fluently and speak. I am reading like a layman. Legal contractual issues. Legal contractual matters are better resolved on project or failing which all records are maintained related to be involved issues and proper speaking communications entered into for future use when disputes are referred to dispute resolution board or statutory arbitration mechanism. Read it again, it's very complicated one. Legal contractual matters are better resolved on project or failing which all records are maintained related to involved issues and proper speaking communication entered into for future use when disputes are referred to dispute resolution board or statutory arbitration mechanism. This is very complicated, means speaking record should be there, speaking communication. What is speaking communication? When you write something, it should be clear and point to point, not descriptive essay. And every record should be there so that all communications can be coordinated together. There should be no gap, there should be no break, you can say. That is called communication. It's not ordinary one, because one communication is recorded and you don't link it to others, so don't do something to other issues. This will not stand test of court, it will not stand test of arbitration. Then communication is very significant on contracts, managements, which an engineer must develop to practice such a skill gradually but progressively by referring to past records of organization and by making personal efforts, since management's major task depends on successful communication. It's very clear, means it is a must and correct one. Communication should be pointed but certain in its structure. Digest. Superfluous writing is no meaning. Do not encourage superficial writing. Superficial talk is no meaning. Talk less but relevant. Communication requires work on clarifications, agreements, approvals of proposals, understanding, brief statements, one-to-one meeting, records, reports, memos, instruction, contracts, matters, notices, contract disputes. What was purpose of this that I talked to you all this? Do you know what purpose was? I have talked to you about more than an hour in this talk, in this subject, in this skill development unit, you can say. See, skill development is limitless. I am an engineer, you are an engineer. Even if you are not an engineer, you can understand this. I am not using any mathematics, any design, any philosophy or something in this conversation. I am just telling you what is done and what should be done. If you earn some skill, suppose you may not be an engineer, you are going to construct a building as a builder or a promoter, as a contractor. It is better if you know something. Why you hate all this? Don't hate it. When you go to court, you follow procedures or not? When you go to government offices, you follow procedures or not? When you go to somewhere else, anywhere involved somewhere else, you can say you follow procedures or not? When you buy railway ticket, you follow procedures or not? When you buy a flight ticket, you buy procedures. Why not to follow engineering and construction procedures? What problem is there? Why to laugh on that? Why to make fun of that? After all, it is not your money, it is money of owner who is spending on the project, and that owner is not expert on buildings, that owner is not expert on construction, that owner does not know anything about that. You have to help him, you have to support him, and you can help him only when you know job, you know construction, you know design. If you don't know design, at least you know construction procedures, you should know specifications. You are spending money, you are putting money on building foundations and superstructure, and you are making money dead for nothing when you don't follow procedures. After all, it's not one day building, it's not 1 year building, it is going for decades and decades and centuries. You have no right to spoil that construction if you don't know procedures, if you don't know all the specifications, if you don't know anything, why you take that work? My question is that, are you only interested in making money by telling lies to an owner, by telling, and same thing applies to architects as well. I'm sorry, they are professionals and I'm also professional. Architects are not taking care of buildings adequately as it is required under law. They are just leaving it to them. Leaving it to God, leaving it to nature, leaving it to contractor, leaving it to builder, leaving it to okay, do yourself. I don't care for that. They just put their seal and sign, and that's it. Is that job of an architect or an engineer? They just sign that this is done. You have to sign only when you supervise it, you design it, you look after that. I have many evidences. Every day I'm walking and see what's happening. I have seen such buildings where there is no vibrator use. They are just erecting columns without any purpose. They are not even compacting soil. Such nonsense, irreliable specifications are being done, works are conducted in a way should not be done and must not be done, but there is no one to care about that in our country, Bharat, and this is really sadful. This is sad, really sad. We all are accepting this. No one is serious. I am using word of seriousness and sleeping all this because I am fed up. Engineers who must be serious and must be awake all the time are not serious. They have compromised at major percentages. There may be some who are serious, who are very serious, who are not sleeping, but those percentages is very negligible. Everybody is maintaining family because family is first priority, work is second priority. Works have been suffering, reports have been there that bridges collapsed in Calcutta, in Banaras, somewhere else and else and else. Buildings are collapsing in all states without any cause. People are not caring. During working itself, this collapse. And the contractor runs away, builder runs away, people die. Even labor die or whoever die after all the loss of money, loss of health, loss of life, loss of material, loss of natural resources, all losses are involved, but no one cares. Just one commission report and that's all, somebody is arrested and that's it. Are we enemy of ourselves? For just sake of time and sake of money and profit, we do whatever is required not to do? Why don't we understand this building is building? I have talked to many people. Some people come to me for this. I want this building to be done. Just give me design and give me that. They are least bothered about structural calculations. They are least bothered about structural design. They just want some lines. Give me some lines. I want to construct it myself. My contractor will do it. This person will do it. I don't need your design. What to do in that case? What they say, no problem, it's my building, I'm constructing it. I'm not constructing for myself. I shall not stay in this. I'll construct it and dispose it to someone else and I'll give a profit. This is conception of a common man in this country, that I am not constructing this building for myself. I am constructing this building for someone else who will stay in that, and maybe that person sell it to someone else and then to someone else and then to someone else. Ultimately, someone will stay there. How can an engineer or architect allow that person to be killed? But this is happening. Nobody listens to you. No one. They are using less than 9 inches by 9 inches columns. Can you call them columns? 9 inches is a big size, 9 inches. 9 inches by 9 inches column. And say 12 feet high, 11 feet high, with 4 steel, say 16 mm even, in that small space and rings. Do you think that is a column? I don't know. They raise columns simultaneously with walls. beginning of new designs, research, new innovations in this country. And this is happening everywhere. If I go to someone else, if I talk to someone, please don't do like this, they laugh on me. Even in my buildings, I did myself, I faced many problems. I went to one bed, but first of all, I ordered to this agency of steel delivery that I want straight bars. This man was surprised. Why do you want straight bars? That's it, I want straight bars, nothing else. Then we will charge you so many thousands more. No problem, I will give you so many thousands more. What problem? If I am going to spend so many lakhs on steel, can't I spend 3,000-4,000 more for trailer service? Why should I transport steel by truck, bending these bars, 12 meters bars, like this, pouring truck, and then bring it just dropping on site, and then straightening them, and then starting work? Is it engineering? Can you call it engineering? See, bars are produced straight by any company, by whatever factory it is. You first bend them there. 12-meter bars are bending 25 mm, 20 mm diameter, 60 mm diameter. You're bending, and then bundling and loading on truck. That comes to your home or to your site. It takes out one by one, or like this, throw like this. Half of them may be crippled. They don't have any prepared base, no brick flooring, no wooden floor, no timber battens below, nothing below. Dump it there in soil or whatever ground is there, and exposed to weather. If it is moisture, no problem. If it is rain, no problem. If it happens, no problem. If in 4 or 5 days your steel bars are rusted, no problem. No rust is rust. Thank you very much. They don't care about that. Then what they do? They start straightening them. All these bars, they straighten. Where there's a kick, they break the kick and straighten it. All bars are straightened. Then they start cutting and bending. This process, what you call it? Is it engineering? Is it construction? Is it killing your money? Or what you can call it? This is happening everywhere, in every city. No engineers, no construction supervisors, nothing. They are doing it. And you cannot teach everybody. They don't want to listen. They excavate, dump soil there itself. They don't remove soil from there, and then they start working. They don't compact basis. They don't know what bearing capacity of soil is, what soil can give you. They don't know what anything. They just put concrete on that, water on that, and start building. Who shall care in this country? I don't know. I think only God has to come for this country to stay here and teach what construction is. No government, no private sector, no government sector, no state agencies, nobody is caring about this. All are sitting in their offices. Nobody cares. Corporation doesn't care. Authorities don't care. Engineers don't care. Architects don't care. Who cares? I don't know. Is there someone to care for this country or no? I don't know. Why I am calling country? Because this is construction work. Major portion of any nation, and particularly our nation, Bharat, goes to development works which involves construction. It may be building, it may be roads, it may be metro, it may be railway, it may be higher water resources, it shall be other resources. Whatever is there, 60 to 70% of money goes to construction activities. And if we don't care about construction activities, this means we are losing our money. We are not getting full benefit from this budgetary expenses. No one cares about. In fact, to be practical, civil engineers do have no place in India, Bharat. Civil engineers are redundant. They are not considered engineers. Every mason is engineer, every carpenter is engineer, every electrician is engineer, every, you can say, contractor is engineer. A contractor who knows nothing about engineering, who knows nothing about ABCD, who knows zero and minus, he is engineer, he is builder, he is promoter. Everyone is architect, everyone is engineer, everyone knows everything, everyone knows curing, everyone knows what is curing, everyone knows excavation, everyone knows whatever activity is there. They don't bother. They don't care for safety because they don't know how to save. Why should they care for safety when you are driving an auto Or motorcycle, you don't wear helmet. You are driving a car, you don't use seatbelt. You don't care for safety in your life. So why should you care for building? Such a drastic state of construction, safety, and health and environment in this country is, believe me, I should not call again and again in this country, because I allegate upon I'm alleging on myself. I have told I belong to this country. Or you may say, I worked abroad in Gulf and Middle East for many years. I am used to think of that way. It doesn't matter. I worked here or I work here. Safety is safety. Construction is construction. Specifically, steel is steel and concrete is concrete. Everywhere it is used. Water is water. Everything is there. I once asked my person, once I negotiated with some steel fabricator. I told, you have to, I get you my steel for bars here, raw material. You can say without bend. I'll use a trailer and bring it. You have to keep them safe. He says, how can I keep them safe? I just prepare a base of timber bettons or something, so that these steel bars should not touch soil and they remain little raised and covered with polythene every day. In the morning, come take out bars, work in the evening, place under polythene all fabricated bars and bars still in stock. They are laughing. He busted in laugh. What are you talking? I have to go to polythene. I never did in life. Okay, my dear, you never did in your life, but do it now. No, I cannot do this. No, I don't take responsibility like this. Okay, I don't give up to you. What problem? No problem. I tried it many places, many agencies. I was unsuccessful. Then because I had place on road, my house is located on main road. I say, no problem. I have to place order. I'll get it done myself. Through my person there, I asked one, you have to cut and bend these bars at my home on site. I will pay you more, no problem. When I said I will pay you more, no problem, that person was ready. He brought his equipment there on site. I ordered steel. I paid more for trailer journey, no problem. There is no difficulty in access. See, this is just an excuse a truck can bring because there is a access difficulty. There is no access difficulty anywhere. Various sizes of steels are available. Don't buy 12 meters or 14 meters, buy 4 meters bar, buy 5 or 6 meters bar. Why do you buy this much? All sizes are available in plants. This is just an excuse. They want to save money. Actually, they are not saving money. They are spending more money. Band is there and again stator is there, and do what? Is it sense? It's already old then. You are using second-hand steel. And engineers are not caring about this. I hate this, believe me. It's not professional. In my home, I got it straight for there on timber basis and on, you can say, bricks covered with polythene. Every day, personally, I used to cover that because people are not used to that. No, I have to, okay, wind is there, everything is there, but put some bricks on that, put some load on that so that polythene remains intact. And even then, there was rust. I asked someone, take out with wire brush and remove rust. I don't want to see rust. Go to concrete. You are talking, somebody say you are talking something I cannot do. I am paying you, do it. No, I cannot do. You are ready to pay, but that worker is not ready to rub steel surface to remove loose rust. What you can expect of this people? They do not know. You are getting them no problem here. No, I cannot do this because it's not going on. Such people are there. You cannot expect them to do professional work. Your columns are not straight exactly. They're out of plumb. Do as much as you can do. They will do their way. Neck of columns and slab beams. Suspended beams of slab. And I cannot say that. Where column terminates with slab, there's a gap, vertical gap between column top and slab. That's neck, they call it in their language. All necks never come in shape, either inclined this way or that way. They don't want to check all their dimension there. They don't bother. They are using timber battens here, timber planks here. The joints, they can't provide like this. There's gap everywhere. This is a joint here, say. Here is a gap because two planks are not planked. There are no planked surfaces. When there is a plank, it should be planked. Nobody plants that. So there's a gap. They don't care if slurry comes out. Same thing happens with slab when they use timber planks. I never use timber planks in my house because the new construction, I say no, I'll buy plywood, I'll buy timber, I'll buy everything and do it myself. When 6 uses are over, I'll scrap it. And I have space, I have areas I can buy myself. I buy timber standings, I buy hardwood timbers, I only hiring I did for props, steel props. I did not think that I spend one additional money because you have to use ply 6 times on columns, on beams, on slabs. Only because these buttons are also cut so many places. So money is same. Either you hire it or you buy it. Benefit I got is when I use ply on slabs and columns and everything, surface was smooth. Of course, they did not care for soil and you do as much as you fight with them, because it is important. They don't care about that. They want to do work within their own choice. I forced them to measure batching. That's I did not believe in ready mix. So ready mix people came to me, I don't want you give me test report, give me this report. They had nothing. No, we can supply to you, it is your responsibility, what you want to do. Means you want to spend your money, but you don't get benefit out of that. You don't have good batching plant, you don't have pumps with you. It will take 3 hours from batching plant to your site. This comes to you, and 3 hours is more than required. You can't spend this much. Then what will value of slump? It's complete disaster. Complete disaster. You are living in disaster engineering. This is civil engineering disaster work. Means you are just doing something unbased on engineering requirements, and you are saying I've done it in quality. It's not quality. I have seen people avoiding vibrations. They don't care about supports of columns, forms, support of something. Just put one support here, one there, that's it, is done. If column is 9 inches, they don't bother about that. I am not criticizing someone. Again, I'm not criticizing anyone. Construction, building is not easy. It completely requires technology. Design engineers work a lot on designs. I am not talking about architect. I am talking about structural and civil design engineers who spend a lot on designs, their time, their thoughts, their contemplation in mind for your building. It's not their hobby to design for sake of hobby. They calculate everything. They calculate all actions in static mode and in dynamic mode. Static mode means when there is no wind pressure or earthquake, and dynamic mode is when there is impact, horizontal shear impact on building structure or high breeze. That is dynamic mode. They study both. They ensure equilibrium in both conditions. And then they reach certain level of stresses and design. And not once, twice, thrice, then proof check. All they do for what? For construction of building. They, of course, sometimes they ignore constructability, which they must do. Constructability is more significant, is more important than design alone. Your design may be excellent. Your design may be very good. It is a medal design. But if it is not workable, if it is not implementable on site, it's difficult to prosecute that. Due to many reasons, this design results worthless. So a designer in construction engineering of buildings must have adequate knowledge to see, to ensure, to anticipate what types of problems, site problems anticipated while thinking on designs calculations. One should understand that. One should know that. If he doesn't know, he can ask this from a person who is a site man, who is a contractor, that what we expect on site if I take this or this into my consideration. If your design is constructible, that is good one. If your design doesn't require many clarifications, that is good one. Yes, there are clarifications. I'm not exactly saying don't there. There can be some sort of clarifications due to design coordinations, due to engineering disciplinary coordinations, due to many other issues involved, due to conflict between structural engineering and architectural engineering. There will be conflict between architectural structural engineering, services engineering. There conflict between statutory laws or something else, or what owner of building wants, because during design stage it was not clear, or is not clear what the architectural engineer are going to do. But during execution of work, during implementation of work or prosecution of work, find something else which was not conceived in owner's mind, there can be some changes. That is acceptable. I just remember incident in Doha one time. There was a beach villa we were constructing, and towards seaside, wall was constructed, designed by architect, and the wall was constructed there in practice. It was delivered. When our owner came, he said, "What is this? This sheikh?" He said, "What you have done?" "Well, this is in drawing, first of all." "What nonsense this thing? Remove this wall." "This is sea. I am sitting in this hall. It's my drawing room. I want to see sea. I want to see that scene when ships go, boats go, and I want to see water. So why you close this?" That wall was removed. So architect failed to see what owner wanted, what owner anticipated. This work was broken down, it was dismantled and redone by glass walling or curtain walling. That is what I am saying. Owner cannot anticipate what architect thinks, even if there is a model, because who cares about that? Therefore, there can be certain alterations, certain changes, management of that has to be done, but basic principle remains intact. Constructability, which is most important, and in designs, reliability, which is another important thing. Many people don't know what reliability is. They design, just design for sake of design, that's all. They should know basic thing first. What is reliability of design? What we consider safety first. Then we consider what? We consider service of design, service of building. Safety is there first of all, safety in every sense, not just collapsing. Safety in every sense. For example, I just give you one very minute example. There are steps, right? Riser, trade, there are. All should be equal or not? Whatever height building is, everything should be equal. If suppose there is some unequal coming in, how will you manage that? It should not be allowed, cannot be. All steps must be equal in riser, height. But it doesn't happen. It happened in Doha once. It was constructed unequal. An accident happened. Someone were running from there or going up and dropped, it failed, it collapsed. And the case was registered against them. Why? Step was not equal. And that promoter had to pay a lot of sum and all compensation for that accident. This happens, but we don't care. I have seen many times architects ignore this. They just copy and paste and say this is done, and building permit is received. Case came to me, some of my colleagues, some of my relatives came. I have got this design in Gurugram, and architect has done it. He has approved building. He has got building permit. Now I have to construct it. He was asking for so many thousands more, but I said, why should I go? No, this is for a structural engineer. His fees you have to pay. So I thought my friend is there, my relative is there. I go to him. Suraj is there. I go to him. He will do for me. He came to me. I told him, I will do it for you, no problem. Don't worry about this. But let me see this. I found many points in that and expected to. I told him expected to get it clear, but he did not clear it. Lift was provided there. Only one room, one lift, elevator. There was an area for elevator. Why you want elevator? No, I want elevator because I am old man, this and that. Okay, give me size of elevator. Give me, if you don't have size, I don't have. Give me vendor who will give you this. He said, no, I don't have. I didn't talk to someone. See, he had no relation to elevator supplier. He did not know that. He did not have any quotation, have any price to, have any coordination, have any size, and he was going to construct elevator well. Was it not surprising? I told him, tell me, I will talk to him, I will coordinate everything. He said, well, why are you giving me headache? His headache? Okay, this is elevator issue. I told him, this stair is wrong. No, whatever you do now, you do yourself. That I have paid him and my relation to architect is over. This architect committed big mistake in staircase. Means it was a nonsense design, believe me. I have to change complete stair in that case. I told him it's not going to work like this. Then I asked him about, I want to see site. He said, no, what sort of site? I have given call, no, I want to see site. I want to see soil report. I want to check soil. He could not understand. He said, no, soil is okay. You know soil is okay. How do you know? No, there is one contractor. I already have one appointed contractor. Okay, fine. That contractor saying I'll do no problem. Who is your contractor? I want to talk to him. No, he worked in Saudi Arabia. Okay, he worked in Saudi Arabia. I just do not talk to you. Talk to him. Either you take me to him or I get him here. I want to see site first. Without that, I will not start any foundation design. He said, I talked to that one and he says, no problem, everything is okay. He just suggested to me, this man told me that contractor suggested to him about earthquake, and no problem, you just lay a layer of river sand, fine sand below that, and that solves the problem. And who told you? That contractor. What is his qualification? No, he is an electrician, he worked as an electrical foreman in Saudi Arabia. Electrical foreman or electrician who works in Saudi Arabia, you are going to give him a building on contract for construction of this. What is this? You are accepting that person who is electrical man to resolve earthquake issue by laying a layer of fine sand below foundation, and you are not accepting what I am saying, that I have to see soil first and ensure that this works. And I will not accept this type what you are saying. I'll design myself and see that your building acts as one unit, integral unit. He could not understand anything. He said, you are giving problems to me. I came to you for help and you are not accepting anything. He said, if he is saying fine sand does, and why to have report of soil report will also say use fine sand. I don't want zero defect building. He said that. This person, owner of that building, who spent 1.5 lakhs for architect, he told me he doesn't want zero defect building. I could not understand him. I told, see, I am a doctor of building. You are asking a doctor to write prescription. You are not allowing doctor to write prescription for this medicine. If you can do yourself, relying on services of that electrically based civil contractor, then why you are coming to me? For what? No, I came to you for help. What you can do in such circumstances, my dear friend? Can you work in such circumstances in our Bharat, where people don't care for anything? They just want their way. He's going to spend money. He says no, but he doesn't want any help to you because you are an engineer. He wants your work and he doesn't accept what you say. What is in that case? It happened with me many times. Some other person came here in Faridabad. I want to construct this building. Okay, give me a plan. Give me a design. I said, what design? What do you want design? No, I just want to construct this and sell it. But I cannot give design like this. I have to see everything. You sell or don't sell. I have to see soil. I have to see everything. I have to check it. Okay, I'll take you to site. No, but tell me. No, I ask him, can your contractor do where you want? I can design. Bring that contractor. He didn't bring. He said, okay, do. I am not interested in structure. I don't care. Hey, that man will do it and I will do it. You just give me line plan of how I can set rooms. Okay, you are known to me. I will make it for you and do whatever you want. Don't come back to me. This is another example. This person could not do work. He came to me about, please, structure, don't talk to me. I want to see where columns come. He asked me. You told me you do yourself. I told him all connections are there. You can spot. Because this person was just interested to build building for sake of selling. One day another pain came. I am constructing my office of my industry. Already started excavation. You have already started excavation. He showed me one plan from architect. I went through that plan. This is wrong, this is not acceptable. No, no, but I will start excavation. So what I do? You have started excavation, congratulations. If you want my services, ask that excavator person, immediately stop it. Get me soil, get me that contractor who will do for you, bring him here, I'll discuss with him. If he is ready to work on my design, I will do design, otherwise I shall not design. I am not interested in money. Yes, you are residing here in this neighborhood, fine. If you want, can do way I wish, or plan, do it or go. Thank you very much, I don't need you. He got sample of soil, I tested that is very bad clay. He didn't return back. See, there are such people in this country, they are not interested in design resolutions, in construction resolutions. How can you help this society? You may say I am rigid. It's not question of being rigid, it's question of profession. If I am working on some project, it is my duty to do that correctly. Otherwise, what is my function there? Why should I waste my time and money? You think I am behind money? Money is every criteria in life. If you give me 3,000, I tell you something wrong and do it, is okay. After all, it's your money. It's not my money you are spending. Even if you give me, you will give me 0.5% and 1% of that, but you are wasting your money and I will support you waste your money. How is it possible? When I design that 16 mm is okay, why you want to use 20 mm or 25 mm? When I am saying in your columns 12 mm would work, why you say I want to use 20 mm? When I say I can design this slab reinforcement for 8 mm diameter, why you say you want 12 mm diameter? I don't understand meaning. If calculation permits that, design permits it lower diameter, why want you infuse more diameter? Why are you wasting national resource? You are wasting your money, you are wasting national resource, you are wasting unnecessary money, which you could use somewhere else. You are not getting any benefit out of that, but you are just doing it for sake of doing. And what engineers can do in that case? Tell me, what do engineers can do? What our engineers can do? What can be? Nothing they can do. They are helpless people. Because government engineers are worthless. All departments, CPWD, PWD, municipalities, authorities, there are no useful engineers. They are engineers in posts only, and privately practicing engineers are very few in civil engineering field, and they have no power. They cannot convince, and they have to survive as well. Like architects are surviving by cheating, by stating falsely to clients, I will do this and do that. They take some commission when they submit plans, and that is their, you can say, earning life. Many architects told me like, what to do? There's no way out. We have to leave. We have to eat. You are an engineer, you can get job, but we are artists, we cannot get job. What to do? We have to maintain our family. You may get some job abroad, overseas, and there, but we cannot have architect jobs so freely available. They are right. Engineers have many options. I can design, I can supervise, I can go overseas to the Gulf or some other countries and get a job, small or big. Some source is available, but now that too is not available. Question is not source or something else. I am a mature engineer now. I don't have much period left for me in my life. So I need only food and I have sources to eat food. Why should I worry uphold on that? Question isn't that. Profession of engineering, why are you calling profession of engineering? Maybe in our country they don't care for this, but profession of engineering, that's it. A building cannot be made a graveyard. A building cannot be allowed to fall, collapse in this. First design is good, you are making it bad. You are constructing something which is bad. It will not stand test of time. It will distress soon. It will collapse one day. Before that it will deteriorate. It will lose its strength. Are you born as an engineer or as a builder to kill people? Are you born for that? Why did I study engineering for so many years? Why? Why did I learn in field and you learn in field for what? To allow people to do bad. Then they call you are talking much, you are arguing much, you are not practical. I don't know practical, what's practical in our country. If you do everything what they say do, you are practical. Look, I am not politician. I am an engineer. It is my job. It is my service. I have to do it for people, not for an honor. You may be owner, but someone will stay there. Even a tenant can stay, tenant can die. Can you allow a tenant to die? Or even there is animal in that. Cow is allowed to stay in that room. Can you allow cow or buffalo to die because collapse of your roof? It's a question mark. What a society we are. Why don't you say, I don't want zero defect flight? Can you fly in a flight which is a defective one? Can you use a train which is not one, the right one? Can you travel by that train? Can you travel by a broken car? Can you? Do you allow your body to be defective? Can you ask a doctor, give me something which is not zero defect? I can survive like that. Why only this principle of contemplation applies on to buildings? Are you mad? It is your money. Why don't you? Yes, your money may be black one. That's right. That's right. I understand. Your money is not based on your hard work. No, the intent is clear. Not your real work. You looted this money from somewhere and you want to throw this money somewhere else. If that is your way, fine, do it. But still, you have no right to kill others. You have no right to kill some occupant of that building. And even if there is no occupant, you cannot allow building to collapse. Ultimately, it's loss of manpower, loss of material, loss of money. This is loss to environment because all these materials comes from earth. You abusing this material cannot be used. Used steel cannot be reused, it's scrap one. Used concrete cannot be reused, it's scrap one. You have got no right to waste this material, but you are wasting this. You have no concern at all. This is happening. Well, I'm getting, maybe you call it superfluous, or you may call it emotional. It's not emotional burst. This is an anger burst because I have seen this. I have not seen any project where I have visited which is ideal one. Government project or private project, everywhere it is same. On government project, they don't want to do anything except to do writing of reports and satisfactory answer on that, and that's it. They don't want to care about quality, system of quality system or material system. They don't want to care about that. They want just to show that we have done this. Even if contractor is wrong, we have done this. Even if engineer is wrong, we have done this. We don't want to care about that. This project must be delivered, right or wrong, but in papers it should be right. Because they cannot say this is against the specification, this is not in compliance with specification, this is not in compliance with design. They cannot say that in writing. Lot of experience with such people, high profile administrators, high profile engineers, high profile bureaucrats. They are high profile for sake of high profile, but they are not having any profile. They are just surviving for sake of surviving, and that is all. It is no criticism, believe me. It's state of affair, I am telling you. This has happened. Our country is deteriorating every day. Quality of world is going up, our quality is going down. ISO 9000 is only for sake of ISO 9000, not for purpose of that. We are ISO 9000 certified, we write like this. They are not ISO 9000 certified. ISO 9001 doesn't give any certification, but they, for sake of writing, for sake of exhibition, for sake of display, they say we are this. Engineer doesn't want to do this type of work. No engineer is happy to do that, even in maybe government or in his private service or his practice somewhere else. Engineer's conscience does not allow any such activity which is against design or which is against specification or which is against quality or safety. But engineer is not present everywhere. Engineer has got certain qualifications, restrictions, movement restrictions, timing restrictions, and some other restrictions. Engineer cannot spend money on behalf of a contractor. Engineer has no right as such, but what to do? Engineer is not allowed to do good work because of commercial benefits or some other benefits. Engineer is suppressed indirectly. That happens. What to do in that case? Tell me. Is it fault of engineer if building collapses? When building collapses, they say arrest the engineer because builder will run away, promoter will run away. You are engineer. Did you construct that? We hold you. Go and catch that person who did not listen to me. But you are engineer of that project. You signed that. You are responsible. Architect would simply say, I don't know engineering, I don't know structural engineering. How can you help me? Hold me up. I'm not going to that anyhow. My question is, those people who have a lot of experience, they don't need further skill development, but nothing wrong if you think on and if you develop your skill further. But those who are newborn babies from engineering profession, means new budding engineers, fresh engineers, they have a lot future, waiting future for them. They have to go to field, they have to work there. Don't stick yourself to designs only, even if you are a postgraduate or doctorate. Try to learn practical works first, because practical works are more significant than getting a master's degree or a doctor's degree. Master degrees or doctor's degrees can be obtained in few years, but work experience cannot be obtained even in 50 years thoroughly. Better learn on site first. Don't think that you are expert in structural engineering or civil engineering. No one is expert. Yes, you have certain compatibility, certain consistency, certain capacity you develop. But first learn facts, how concrete is seen on site, how it works on site, how workers behave on site, how contractor behaves on site, how weather behaves on site. You have to see each and every aspect of life of professional engineering in construction. How machines work, how teachers, how foremen work, how workers work, how international community works if you are overseas, how matters are procured, who are involved, how authorities relate and react. You have to see all involved activities in buildings, particularly I'm not talking of roads, I'm not talking of railways. Buildings become a complicated field. Don't just call yourself a structural engineers, first try to be an engineer. And same thing applies to foremen, same thing applies to workers. Your trade is more significant than being an engineer. If you are a steel rebender, steel cutter, steel fixer, if you are a carpenter, if you are a mason, if you are a foreman, if you are a plumber, if you are whatever you are, your work values. You are not a labor, you are a technician. You have reputation, you have a skill, you can contribute, build. Engineer alone cannot build, foreman alone cannot build. Your skill weighs more than my skill, because I can only say, I can only command, do this. I cannot do this each and every activity because I am not that strong in that work as much as you are. My hands are not that strong. My hands are soft. My mind can tell this. My mind can plan this. My mind can do like this. This material is required. This is required. But work has to be done by you. You are soldier of my army. You are soldier of my work. You have to do that in bad weather, good weather, in comfortable weather, without having food, without having thirst somewhere, without having so many no man, without having available many activities, many facilities. That is what you are. Without you, nothing can move. We honor all people, all workers, up to you can say guard of site, chowkidar or whatever you call that, guard of site to manager of site. All vendors, all workers, all technicians have equal importance in works. We respect you. We respect all. We expect that all you, foreman too, lowest helper in all fields of safety, construction, health, material, everywhere. You must understand methods. You must understand how to keep these items intact, how to keep people safe, how to keep site tidy, how to keep site hazard free, how to manage time of equipments in optimum way, how to take care of broken equipments, how to repair all broken equipments, how to efficiently work, how to augment labor efficiency. All these requirements are must and must be developed. Engineer's duty is to teach his students, workers, technicians, foremen what is required, what is not required. Because writing doesn't teach them, only you can explain to them. You have a duty through your safety manager or engineer to tell all these people how can they use their equipments, their tools, because tool explanation is very important. Just for example, grinder can configures what equipments they have used, what PPs are there, how they can take precaution, how electrical fittings can be used, how a naked electric wires are not allowed. All this must be told through toolbox talks. You tell them, or your safety assistant tell them, you must teach each and everything because accident happens. Why to allow it? They must know what they should not do, and they must know what they should do. I don't want a worker to be fatigued on site for nothing. He should be given support, food support, liquid support if there is a high temperature, or there is even some tea when there is a low temperature. These are required. It's not question of time wastage, because time wastage is a part of time. There must be response for healthy work. There must be response for everything. If they work continuously and for 2 hours, it's impossible to stand like this. Temperature is high and person can collapse. We have to take care of that. We have to think that way. We have to have a method statement of concluding itself sometimes in a big pour. We cannot simply leave it to workers and foremen. It's a matter of question of high work. It's not low work, it's heavy work. Concreting, form work, many other activities are involved. Breakdown of your batching plant, breakdown of site mixer. Everything must be understood thoroughly before an order is given. Engineer's job is not simply engineering job. It involves administration, it involves technicalities, it involves research, it involves, you can say, logistics. So many informations are required to be collected for this purpose. Only then you can execute or prosecute certain activity. It's not simple being site engineer or you can say a consultant or you can say contracting engineer. No, it's not simply that. Main thing is how to bring all things and all persons to one point. That is important. Coordination is important. Concentration is important. That is required. Based on what I was saying, it's not an easy job. No, it's not an easy job. It's a job that imports sacrifice, that imports environment, imports, you can say, contribution, that involves involvement, that involves, you can say, all bad comforts. You have to not think that you are a professional that time. You are not to think that you are an engineer that time. When there's a requirement, you have to work as a ordinary person, just other working. Don't think of your personality. Don't think of your status. If required, you have to help them. This is a must. Don't think you are big. Allow everybody to see you if it's feasible. He may be helper. He may be lowest professional. Anyone. You have to think of what problem one brings to you. It is your duty to check in. Engineer doesn't mean your boss. You are boss for work and you are boss to help them as well. You are their big brother. You are like father sometimes. You are aged one, experienced one. You have to take care of all these issues. Yeah, your people, if they don't work, you cannot work. Just keep in mind, if your team, your crew does not work, they fail to deliver, you are a failure. It's simple. If you are a failure, your project is a failure. Nobody will listen to you that you could not tackle with your worker. They will simply say, you are a failure, Suraj, you are a failure. You could not handle your workers. You could not handle your vendors. You could not handle your other peoples. And you could not deliver results. You wasted our time. You wasted our money. You wasted project time. And we have to face repeated damages. Do you want to see that issue? Do you want to see that problem? If do you want to see that problem, it's up to you. I don't think that something is more important than that. Therefore, learn, learn, and learn. Learn is an earn. Learning is an earning. in addition to money, in addition to salary, in addition to any fee or whatever you get, in addition to reputation, learning is your efficiency. Go on learning. I told very little is nothing. There may be many things, and many things I will give later on. But think that you are wise person. Education does not stop at university. Only textbook education stops. And textbook education is not real education. That is for theory purpose. Textbook is written by some professor only, and that professor is not experienced one. That profession is not a professional. That professional teacher only. That professor knows what he learned in his life and what is being updated in books. He takes information from books and makes another book for purpose of teaching. Professionals who are writing book is different. There are so many professors now in field who write based on their experiences. That is different. I'm not talking about that. That is not textbook. That is a resource book. Resource book and textbook are different fields. If you write for students to pass an examination of BE, ME or something else, that is called textbook. If you write for professionals directing what to do in field, that is called resource book. I have seen many people, I have experienced them, they are writing resource books, though resource books are not published by publishers, because this doesn't bring them results of that. It's not sold in market, it's not demanded, but resource is a resource. Now internet is available, people are posting on internet itself, that's a resource. They're not getting any benefit, but it's not question of getting any benefit, financial benefit. It's question says, if something is in mind after my death, this won't work anything. Better write something for someone. Even after my death or even before that, somebody use it is fine, because on internet there are all types of information, good information, bad information, reliable information, everything is there. So learning has no limit. Those who are writing, posting something on net or something on Facebook or somewhere else, that is also a service. I don't care if people read that or don't read that. My job is that I do, and that is in my control. If I can supply some information, someone for benefit of mankind, for benefit of professionals, benefit of everyone, that's fine. It's not in my hands. It's not in my control if people go through that or not. It's up to them. If they read, welcome. If they don't read, no, because it's out of my control. I don't care how many people follow. That's up to them. If you want to take benefit, you can benefit. If you don't want to take benefit, don't benefit. It's up to you. But it's my duty. I do it for profession, for national service, for international service, for humanity of everywhere, humanity of all world. If I write something, nothing. I'm not. I have time. I am writing. If I have a computer, I have a laptop, I have internet, I am writing. Otherwise, publishing of real hard book, book is very important. I have many books. I had many books before also. Hardly I could publish one or two. Nobody accepts to publish. This is a little thing. Your book is not valuable. People don't read such books. They don't buy such books. We don't care for these are commercially based books. This is simply I have written to my publisher something. I want to get the book. Please, your books are not reliable. We cannot commercialize that books. Please don't return anything. Okay, what to do? See, I am not publisher. I cannot do that. Even I am publisher. They have their problems. They have to earn. They are commercial organizations. They are not professionals. They are not sitting for me. Okay, my mind I have to write because I want to give, my mind is there. I have to give back to public. Because after all, what I shall do with this? If I write something, people may use it or may not use it. Whoever uses it in the world, that's up to them. So God's, my mind has come here. My mind says something. It doesn't say something or say something. It's up to me. If I want to extract that out of mind, put on paper and somebody is fine. After all, what shall I do? Life is very short. Nobody knows what will happen after some time, after today, tomorrow, after one. Nobody knows. So better if you have something, give them. And that's what I'm doing. I'm not doing any obligation on someone. I am just giving service for my sake. I am serving myself. Because if something coming to my mind, I have no right to pull that or reserve it or constrain it. I am not working for money. Money, if it is my luck, it shall come. My job is to work so that I can help others. And that's all. Because money is not everything. If you get, fine. If you are not getting, also fine. After all, you have moved a life. You have traveled a distance. Now you are in an age where money doesn't matter. Because you are eating after all. Whatever source you have, you are eating. Better do something for people. And to those young professionals, to those pragmatic people, I would suggest better cooperate, better involve yourself in whatever engineering or non-engineering field for nation building, for world building. If you can do something in addition to your family responsibilities, do that. It is in your interest. I don't want to speak undue things, but because it is skill development, and skill development has got no limits at all. In future, if these employment seeking personnel, if they don't have skills, they will not get any employment. That is fine. Employment in Gulf is over, no more jobs, and maybe they have a plan. Just please, thank you very much, go. And one day from USA, they already started saying, thank you very much, you go. England is bankrupt already. Canada is already void. So world is changing very fast, very rapidly. China and US are fighting, and many other Europe has started fighting with USA, and there's a Iran and US war going on. So many places, Palestine and Israel are going on. Yemen has still been doing the same thing, and it's happening wherever you see. There is no peace, and time is changing. History repeats itself, is going to repeat. US is no more world leader, as it is just concentrating on its own problems. It's not caring about problems. So time has come that you have to use your people in your country only. Very little chances to go foreign for doing work. So you have to work here. But working here doesn't mean don't comply with quality. Your value increases when you have skill development, because skill development shall make you better professional, better traditional, better person, better technician, better manager. If you can do that, do it. Read books, read internet postings, read something else. You are wasting your time videos on mobile. You are doing time on jokes on mobile. You are wasting time somewhere else. Better use your time. Even if you are half an hour a day, 1 hour a day, or 2 hours a week, you can use that time to know more and more and more, and to draw more information from other people to make your work better. It's not that easy. It's not that difficult as well. If you develop your skill, you can learn another skill also. You can upgrade yourself. Without a skill, without expertise, in future you will be nowhere at all. You have to manage your own skills. That's what I'm to say. Well, it's the first talk of skill development. I just given buildings. I'll take it further down. I have many other notes with me. You can say pages, or you can say documents that involve construction method statements, that involve other thoughts, that involve safety issues, that involves many other life-based learning issues, which can be, you can say, shared with you people. From time to time, I will share some English language also with you people, because I have seen that English has been broken to a level which you cannot call structured English level. It has been abused by people. I shall like to share some information on translation other in English also. I did before, but I'm not satisfied what I told. I'll retake that one when I have time. But for time being, it's the project management, which is very important from current viewpoint, as it is happening. State of quality, state of safety in our country, Bharat, India, is not to mark, and we have to bring it to mark, and that can be brought to mark only by professionals involved in construction and designs. Design people are more important to me, because they should know before construction what problems can be anticipated, and they have to think on the basis of constructability. Unfortunately, they are missing that for time being. They think that just working on computer and delivering a drawing is adequate for them, but that is not. They have to interact with site people, or with those who are involved in construction activities. They must interact with foremen and others who have experience, and then chart out what solutions they have with real facing problems on site. Only then a good design can come out. Otherwise, you don't get a good design, you don't get a good engineering, you don't get good skill. Your skill is most important, because you are first person in engineering. If your design skills are bad, work skills will be bad. If there is a clash between design and site execution, there is no meaning of design is constructible to be called off. Design is constructible only when there are minimum problems on site, minimum clarifications are required, minimum questions are raised, but that has not happened so far. Even on UK designs, even on French designs, I have noted this in my career that there are issues always. Design engineer cannot think that I am only thing and listen to me. No, it's not that. You have to see side problems as well. Otherwise, design is just a piece of paper only, nothing else. It's just theory. It's just like textbook. It's not practical work. If your work cannot be executed, your work cannot be practically done, your design is rubbish. I would say it is. Regretfully, I would say it is rubbish. Your design should be manageable, should be constructible, should be, you can say, reliable. If your design is reliable, if there's no problem on site in doing work, you are fine. You are matured engineer. If there are questions on site, there are always changes on design. There's people say, oh, this design is unworkable, I'm not happy with that, and there's clashes with the architectural and structural engineering services. What's the meaning of design left? Well, I'll now stop in the talk because going further for nothing has got no meaning at all, and talking excessively is also bad for purpose of this. So I would simply say that I want to close this now for purpose of others, and let us. I'll think of next one in next talk. I don't know where my photo has gone. Sometimes it happens that you don't find your yes. So I will give you just again re-identification so that you know who I am, and I'll close this after that. And this is my certification, and this is my, you can say. So this is again Suraj Singh, fellow of IEI, and I'm just closing this topic for you to stay with you. Thank you very much for your kind attention, if you could, and thank you very much. I'll talk to you later on in another talk. And thanks once again. Dhanyavad.